Hello everyone, welcome to part 3 of Sonic Generations. We are officially entering the Dreamcast era, which had such greats as Sonic Adventures 1 and 2, as well as Sonic Heroes. Although the latter game was not released on the Sega Dreamcast, it's still closely related to the former two, as it had the same voice actors. At this time, the Sonic games were focusing more on story and characters, which gave way to some fan favorites like Rouge the Bat and Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh yes, Shadow the Hedgehog. Yes, my favorite character in the whole entire Sonic franchise, who is also something of a meme as of lately. Well, maybe not as of lately, but it still took like 2 decades. Damn, not here. Now, the first Dreamcast zone in the game, Speed Highway, has you traveling through the streets of Station Square trying to avoid the early morning rush hour. Even Sonic can be late for work. But here's the gimmick. This is the first time Speed Highway's played entirely in 2D, seeing as there's a classic Sonic on screen. The blue punch ball is at it again. You must not allow him to eat the city just like he ate Angel Island. I sounded almost exactly like the gun commander from Shadow the Hedgehog right there. But classic Speed Highway is a bit of a platforming challenge. It's not really about speed. Even though you do get some room to move around, it's mainly about staying on platforms and not falling to your doom. If anything, classic Speed Highway takes cues from Starlight Zone from Sonic 1. Get it? Ringing the bell? I know what you're up to, Sonic Team. I know what you're up to. In the background, you'll see some advertisements for in-universe stuff like Chow Gelato or crazy stuff like that. That was a thing that Sega and Sonic did a lot, especially with SA2, with all their in-game billboards saying like Fantasy Star Online and Nights into Dreams and all their other Sega properties. Hell, I think they even referenced Space Channel 5 at one point. Which I guess makes sense because PSO and Nights into Dreams were made by Sonic Team. I'm not so sure about Space Channel 5 though, I think that was made by a different team. But everything owned by Sega is owned by Sonic, seeing as he's the main mascot of Sega. I mean, what other video game character would have a game so bad that it would essentially kill that character, but he comes back stronger than ever with Sonic Unleashed? Yeah, that's right. You can't say the same about Alex Kidd now, can ya? No, you can't, because this game sucked. He always sucked. He had no character and he was boring. Freaking rock, paper, scissors. You tell me I can lose to a boss because of a random numbers generator? No thanks. Alright then, now it's time to take on Speed Highway as modern Sonic, but with a twist. We're gonna be as authentic as we can with this one. Low Poly Sonic. And here's the tutorial for the light speed dash. It's really just, you only use it twice in the game, so what's the point? It's also a move that's exclusive to modern Sonic, so very situational. Anyway, here's Low Poly Sonic in action. I just missed the helicopter right there. You can get this skin by getting the digital deluxe edition of Sonic X Shadow Generations, and I think there's also, like this was recent too, I think there's also one for Classic Sonic, which is just the Sonic Jam skin. So that one looks even more low-res and polygonal, and it's Classic Sonic too. I think with the Sonic Jam skin, that one is actually free and you can get that one on its own, so there's no big deal with that one. Oh cool, Lightspeed Dash! And that's the only time you actually have to use it. I will never not get annoyed by that. Anyway, modern Speed Highway amps up the speed a little bit. Pun. But there's still a fair bit of platforming and you need to watch out where you're landing. Some platforms will even give out if you stand on them for too long. So you want to watch out for that. And there are also a couple of skydiving sections. Well, skydiving quote unquote, you're just kind of gliding to the ground here. There is an upper and lower path to this section, and I'm never good enough to get to the upper path, so whoops. Modern Speed Highway does a good job of replicating what made the original so great, especially with this scene. Those cop-bots stopped at nothing to try and kill Sonic, or apprehend him, or both. Anyway, we are coming towards the end of this zone. It's not really that long of an act. I think that is my biggest gripe with Speed Highway and Sonic generations. The act is not really that long, or at least in Modern's case. Classic Sonic, Speed Highway, I think I prefer that one over this one, to be honest. But both versions of the stage is outstanding, and that outstandingness will only carry over to the next one. I like No Mouth Sonic better. He's the best version of Sonic.
Sonic. It was so scary, but I tried to be really brave.
You did great, kiddo.
Cream's voice in the redub is a no for me. In fact, I honestly never liked Cream's voice. Anyway, oh, we got Emerald Hill Zone. I love that song. That's a certified classic right there, along with Sonic 2, as well as the next zone we're about to approach. This is City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2. Oh, I love this song. Sonic Adventure 2 has my favorite soundtrack in the whole entire series, and this song is proof of that. And it's not just this particular song, you also got Rhythm and Balance, Supporting Me, A Ghost Pumpkin Soup, pretty much all of Knuckles' themes, EGGMAN, or Eggman, all of Rouge's themes are great, hell, even Tails' themes are great. And let's not forget the best indie song of all time, Live and Learn. What I'm trying to say is that Sonic Adventure 2 is one of the greatest games of all time, right next to Sonic and Knuckles. And so is this stage. This is actually a really good version of City Escape. This version just flat out starts with a gun truck trying to kill Sonic, so there you go. That's what makes this so great. The other thing that makes this iteration of City Escape great is that the gun truck driver is just so brutally violent for an E-rated game. He is actually trying to kill you. Look at this! And this is just classic Sonic. Wait until you get to the modern stuff. Commander, we're supposed to capture the hedgehog alive. What are we doing? This is causing a public outcry and lots of property damage. Sir? Sir? Oh boy, that conversation with the commander must be intense. Anyway, here's the final stretch of City Escape, and oh god! So the guy inside the truck is dead, right? Or does he have Eggman immunity? I mean, surely if Eggman can survive a whole bunch of crashes and explosions, so can this guy. Anyway, here's Act 2 of City Escape. We're gonna do this with modern Sonic. Talk about no budget flights, no food or movies, I'm out of here. Friggin' Sonic and his sass. Why is he so sassy in these games? Yes, I know it's his character, but the adventure games in particular is where the sass gets dialed up to 10,000. And I love every moment of it. Oh, he is kind of annoying in Shadow the Hedgehog the game, though. Yeah, he was a bit too much in that one. Follow me, set me free, trust me and we will escape from the sea. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bust your eardrums open. City Escape Modern is pretty much almost one for one the same as the original version. I mean, sure, there are different pathways and we're going through the parks more often, but it's almost exactly the same as Sonic Adventure 2. There is a slight 2D section that's added in, but it's pretty quick. I forgot to mention that Classic Sonic's iteration of City Escape's music has a musical nod to Endless Mines. That was a quick multiplayer stage from Sonic 3 and Knuckles all the way back in 1994. It's a nice little reference to something that's kind of just there in the original Sonic games. Because I mean, let's face it, nobody played Endless Mines. Nobody played the multiplayer of Sonic 3. I mean, it has good music though, but the stages were just non-consequential. And while we're on the subject, the multiplayer in Sonic games were never really that great at all. And Sonic 2 is kind of fun, I guess. Sonic 3 is just there. I think Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 had multiplayer, but those were just there too. And yeah, most of the Sonic games, unless if it's like the Black Knight, is never really that good on multiplayer. Oh god, here's the gun truck again! And he's got Saw Blades this time. What the fuck? Yo, how's this game rated E? I remember me and my brother playing this for the first time in 2011, 2012, and he saw the blades on the gun truck. And he was like, that's new, when was this a thing? And I just straight up told him, gun's working for Eggman now. Yeah, they're taking liberties here. Because I mean, where else is the government gonna get saw blades like this? This isn't standard issue. Anyway, the only thing you have to do here is just speed boost and step to the side to win. It's kind of hard to see where the blades are coming from though sometimes. Okay, now I'm truly convinced the guy's not coming back this time. Holy shit. And does this make Sonic a murderer, or is he just a accomplice to manslaughter? Like what? Sonic, you're a madman.
Thanks, Big Blue. That's the first time I've ever been stolen.
You're a real gem, Rouge.
Okay, Rouge's voice in the Sonic Generations dub portion is not bad. Wait until we get to Shadow Generations, though. Seaside Hill, here we go. Oh yeah, the game's gonna show you the wall jump. It is more useful than the Lightspeed Dash because there are more places to use it, but it's still kind of a situational move. The coolest thing about Sonic Heroes is that that's the first 3D Sonic game I've ever played and beaten. In the Dreamcast era, I played the games in reverse, so this was the first 3D Sonic game I played, then SA2, and then SA1 in that exact order. Did not have a Dreamcast growing up, and I didn't know anybody that did. I effectively missed the boat on that one. And I did have a friend that had a GameCube, so yeah, I did manage to play the Sonic Adventure games at least. But I did have a PS2, and oh boy was this game on it! And that version kind of sucked, but still, it's Sonic Heroes. I actually like Sonic Heroes. I mean, granted, it's buggy, the controls are slippery, it's the first 3D Sonic game to introduce a gimmick like, teamwork. Oh boy, the teamwork. Or at least it's better than guns, but still. But Heroes has a special place in my heart, and hopefully they bring back the teamwork mechanic for a future Sonic game. Or, hell, just remake Sonic Heroes, there you go. And make the controls better, please. But anyway, modern Seaside Hill, Sans, Knuckles, and Tails is great. To be honest, I never liked the original Seaside Hill from Sonic Heroes as a first stage, but this version's pretty good. You want to stay on the upper path as much as you can, so that way you don't have to contend with the water, because as you know, Sonic does not swim. He's a sinker, not a floater. Although, you can run on top of the water surfaces, but if you stay still, that's where you just sink and die. I remember that also being an issue in Sonic Unleashed too, like, modern Sonic just cannot swim at all. He sinks to the ocean and dies. It reminds me of that one episode of Sonic X where Sonic was trying to find a way to Eggman's secret base underwater. Good times, good times. Sonic X was a 50-50 show. I enjoyed some of it. I mean, just take out Chris Thorndike and his family and there you go, the show is way better. One of the better Sonic shows. Sonic media outside of games seems to have a weird fascination of shoving human characters where they don't belong. Granted, the movies did it better because Tom is actually a really good character. And so is Maddie, but Chris? Ugh. The other 50% of the show is, well, the Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 arcs. As well as, was there another arc that takes place in space at the end of the show? I dropped off after SA2. I don't defend Sonic X like other people do, or like I defend the movies. The Seaside Hill here does a good job of streamlining the team aspect and just making a Sonic-centric level. The go-kart segments where all 3 team members would drive the thing at the same time only has Sonic driving it, and the little pathways with the turtle and the, what's the other logo thing? Okay, so what's a go-kart? So it's basically just picking a different pathway and then those pathways would alternate. And there you go. When it comes to 2D segments in modern Sonic, he can swim or at least survive in the water just fine. In consistency, my name is Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. I cannot do a Sonic voice for shit. If anything, I could do a Shadow or a Knuckles voice. It depends on the Knuckles. I could also do an Eggman voice, but it also depends on the Eggman. Like, are we talking Dean Bristow impersonation or Mike Pollock impersonation? Or Jim Cummings impersonation. He was Eggman. I've fallen! Oh yeah, I could do a somewhat crappy Tails impersonation, but that's just for shits and giggles. Yeah, don't have me voice Tails ever, if you want to be serious. Sweet! That's what the S stands for. Anyway, I'll see you guys in part 4 of Sonic Generations where we take on the rest of Seaside Hill.